Well, welcome to another episode of The Minority Voice. I'm your host, Jeff Vega, and as always, I want you to subscribe to my video if you have not on YouTube, and also make a comment and share it if you would. So today I brought back Norita. We wanted to kind of finish up our story with her. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So the last time, I think in our conversation, we kind of left off and we just touched a little bit about you came here and you did not have to have a vaccination.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
you're here and you're vaccine free and you're
I'm so pleased.
you're in the land of freedom.
Yes.
So now you're here, and why did we bring you here? Let's talk about that.
Because I've got the magic touch. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. So I've been known back in Australia with my clients there. I've been known to be the social media strategist who does not use the traditional marketing strategies. So the way I do it is that I combine intuition and also strategies. So like, for example, like it all depends on what kind of businesses or what kind of brands. And the clients that I work with, they are activists, change makers, soulpreneurs, spiritual practitioners. So they serve the vulnerables, and so their social media cannot be too masculine. The energy behind their social media content and strategy cannot be too masculine. And the language has to be, incorporate with much more feminine energy, because they are there to make a difference. They are there to heal. So the content is a little bit different, the structure, the strategy is a little bit different. So how is that? At the end of the day, every businesses, every brands, when we have business and we use social media, we have an objective, and that is to convert, to get sales, to get leads and all that.
And actually, when you look at it too, social media is the new marketing platform. Could you say? Is that true?
Yeah. It has been around for many years, and if you ask me, it's the most powerful, I would say. But you gotta know how to use it. Because it's called, because the thing is that a lot of businesses, a lot of brands, they use social media. They understand that it's powerful, but they use it to get sales. They use it to get, to get bookings, clients and all that. But actually, that's not what social media is. Social media is actually a platform for you to, put yourself out there so that you are able to connect with the audience. And so that, if you do it well, you will be able to gain trust.
And relationships too, right?
Yeah, because if they trust you, that's it, they will buy from you. And I have clients that my products are not out yet, and they already like, hey, when it's going to come out? And, and I said, but this product it's not really for you, and they go like, oh, pretty much like, I'm going to pay for it, and it's actually not for them. And that's what happens, like when they trust you, whatever that you're going to bring out, services or products, they just want to buy from you because they already, you already established connection, you already established trust.
And you've created a brand pretty much then, right? That they believe in.
Yeah. And to do that, you got to be, the first key thing to create a very powerful social media strategy, the main key thing is you got to be authentic. And there's a lot of brands out there, when they are on social media platforms, they think that they have to create this social media persona, But when they're outside, maybe they're a little bit different than the persona that they have created on social media. And that's not going to last, And the way I did it, like how it all started, I've never really think that, I want to do this as a business. I was building my own brand, Strive and Thrive. And I heard at that time, I went to a lot of workshops and I heard, oh, you got to do it this way and that way. But at that time, it didn't really gel with me. And I feel like, this is just too hard. And I compare with my previous experiences, with my previous career, how did I do so well? And the only way that I could remember is that, I did well in my previous career because I was just being me. So that was when I decided, okay, that's it. I'm not going to try to have this kind of tactic or technique. I'm just gonna show up on social media and just be like me, And that's how like the brand just blew, less than a year. And that's how I work with clients now. Like I said to them, before you even have a strategy, before you even, like start your content strategy or branding strategy, the first thing is you got to really know why you're in business, like why you even want to do this, why. And if you really know your why, then when you show up on social media, you really, focus on the why you're here. It's not about, how people will see you or what people will say about you or what you want people to think of you. It's not about that, It's about
But
why.
I think a lot of people, that's their emphasis on creating something that's really not real.
Yeah, and that's the thing of social media. Like I've spoke at some events where, I debate with people because people say social media is, the key why, the younger generations now have mental health and all that. And I say no, the enemy is not social media. The enemy is like, what do you use the social media for and how you use it? So, whether it's the younger generation using it socially or whether it's the businesses using it for business, it's not social media. It's how you use it.
Right, sure. Sure,
Yeah.
So speaking of that, so let's kind of, when you look at the different platforms, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got TikTok,
Pinterest, Twitter.
So if you could, let's just go down, maybe give a pointer on each one that you think where to be effective on it. I know you got to be authentic, but like when you're on Facebook and you can buy ads and you can boost. What's some of the give me an insight that you can share with the audience when you're on Facebook and you want to enhance what the novice person is doing.
Okay, so first of all, like social media, but each of these platforms, they work slightly different. Some of them work very different. Some of them work very similar. So it all depends on what platforms you want to use. And one thing, how you want to know which one to use is you got to ask yourself who you're trying to attract. The audience, that you want to attract, you got to ask yourself, okay, for example, let's say an example that when you do a branding strategy, one of the questions that you have to work out is knowing who your ideal client and ideal audience is. And there are a lot of, marketing experts, they just focus on, let's figure out who your ideal client is. But when it comes to social media, it's not just figuring out who your ideal client is. You got to figure out who your ideal audience is. Because, your ideal audience could be not your client, but maybe they know someone that could be your client, right? So first you need to figure out like who your audience, who your client is, and then know where they are hanging out. So for example, a lot of people think, oh, Facebook is the king of social media. Yes, it is. But if your crowd is not, if your audience is not hanging out on Facebook, then no point you're on Facebook.
So like I would say, David over there, his audience is not Facebook, is it?
Not primarily, no.
So what's your audience?
Probably
Instagram.
more so the Instagram.
Instagram,
Okay.
because he's a creative. So creative,
Visual.
visuals, then you got to be on Instagram, And also it depends on, so a lot of people, like I work with businesses like, when they come in, they think that they got to be on 4, 5, 6 platforms. So I said to them, you don't have to be on Facebook, you don't have to be on Instagram. But you got to figure out where your audience is and where your ideal client is. If they're on Instagram, then you got to be on Instagram and then only start with one platform, And then once you're good with that platform, then choose the second platform. Don't have to be like for example, recently, we have this social media platform that just came out. It's a bit hot now. It's called Clubhouse. And when Clubhouse came out, it's like everyone's like, oh, we got to do Clubhouse, So you don't have to go out and be in every platforms. You just got to be, first of all, you got to be where you think or your audience and your ideal clients is hanging out. And once you in there, then you got, if you were to get the services like people like me, then, we are able to teach you. But if let's say, not all businesses are able to have the resources to get, an expert to come in, then you have to spend some time to study how that platform works. Because like, for example, like Facebook, Facebook and Instagram, they are brothers and sisters, but
I
they
was
were
going to
different.
say that too. So I remember when I was on Instagram, I would and it's been a long time. I'm not on Instagram too much anymore, but I would create something, a video, and I would put it. I was able to put them on both
Yes.
at one shot. And
Yeah.
actually, I think I could have did more, but now.
Yeah, if you connect them both, you can.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what I did. Now, is that effective to do it that way? Do you get
It depends when you post it.
Okay.
Yeah, so on Facebook, again, you got to understand where your audience hang out and what time they usually on that platform. So maybe if, let's say, for just example, if let's say you're on Facebook, Instagram, and for example, let's say you have your audience on both platforms, but maybe they are not online at the same time. So if you were to post it out, and this is the thing that we talk about, the content is great to create content, but you gotta know when to post it, because no point creating content and just blasting contents out if you're not strategically creating what kind of content, depending on the content pillars, and also you gotta know when your audience are online.
So let me ask you that.
And Facebook, Instagram, they will not have the same time. So if you,
Right.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. So back to what you were saying
how,
just now.
How do you find out where your audience is?
Yeah, so I know why you asked this because we went through this early on.
Yeah, we did.
All right,
We went through this the other day.
yeah.
She said, "Jeff, go here and there." She
Yeah,
walked me through it,
right.
so I could see where the peak time was. But she
Yeah,
kinda shared if you could.
so you got to understand when your your audience is on. So you have to go either Facebook or Instagram. They have this button called Insights in different location depending on whether it's Facebook or Instagram. So you have to click the Insights, and from the Insights you are able to see your audience, their demographics when they're online, and also when they are online. Be very careful on Facebook. You will see the times when they're online, depending on the day, but just know that the times that Facebook showing there is specific time. It's not your local time. So once you figure out, once you see the times that they're online, then you got to go to the world time converter and convert it to your local time.
Okay.
Yeah. And with Instagram, the time there is your local time, depending on your phone, whatever the time is, the local time on your phone. Yeah. So once you know the time to post, then you have to post according to the time that your people is online. So what we call the peak time. So back to what you were saying just now. So if you make a video and you post to both platforms, that's great, but make sure that you post it, separately according to their time. So, and that's the reason why we use, like a scheduling app, so that they go out at the platforms, the audience peak time. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when you get the organic reach.
All right, and then that's important because I remember you sharing with me that a mutual friend of ours is putting on an event, and you should just put it out there, and before you do any ads, or was it added or boosting? What were we gonna do?
Yeah, so this is another thing. A lot of businesses, they do not know this. They thought that, okay, if I put the content out and I want it to be seen more, I'll just boost it. So it is not advisable to boost. I'm not saying that you can, but you will save more money if you actually create ads at the back end rather than boosting it. Because when you boost it, it's like you casting a net into the ocean. Not having a strategically target. But if you do it at the back end, you create the ads, you are able to really target the specific demographics that you want.
Plus, you also mentioned to me too is, if you boost it right away or ad, you take away your organic reaches because they'll include that into your ad buy, whatever, because they
ad spend,
they guarantee you so many looks or whatever connections, and so you take that away, which is important. Little thing like that,
and also depending on the content. And normally, if you were to create ads, it's best to use videos, and I will put the video out, and I will for any content like this is just. I mean, different marketers, they depending on their experience, they will say different things. But based on my experience, right, videos convert better, and authentic raw video convert better than the polished ones. And then also, I will normally post it first, and then do engagement and do some organic strategy to get the reach a bit high. and to get the algorithm kick off a bit, and then I'll put ads. So I will not just put the content out and then create ads, because then it means that content is cold, if you get what I mean.
Right,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
right. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
awesome. Well, I think you've educated them a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you got my brain moving again.
Yeah.
And that's why I brought you in here, so you can handle that, so I wouldn't have to deal with that. So I'll just send them to you. But it's good to have you, and
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll.
It's a powerful tool, especially if you want to make an impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I'm sure we'll bring you back on, and we can once we have some success with some posts or whatever, then we can talk a little bit more.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So until next time, Joshua 2415.